What is up, my little deinos? Vepsis, your coach of the Helsinki Hydreigons, and we are here for the Eon World Trophy Week 1 battle versus John Jr. and his team beat the Portland Nightshades, if I pronounce it correctly. You can see his team name on the layout, which was made by Slackout, of course, so big shoutouts to him. His social links will be down below in the description, so make sure to check him out. Big thank you to Lantern Joe as well for recording the game. He actually volunteered himself to be helping out throughout the Eon World Trophy season. Everyone part of the league to record the games for ourselves, so big thank you for his effort helping me out in that regard. And yeah, my opponent will be bringing into this matchup the monsters that you see on the layout, being Charizard X, Clefable, Starmie, Noivern, Celestial and regular Blastoise. The other 5 monsters that he had on his roster were Donphan, Galvantula, Roserade, Houndoom and Munchlax, and big surprise from those was that he will be not bringing Donphan, which I was highly anticipating him to do, considering that I have a Zeraora on my roster, which I would think that he would respect to ensure the fact that I cannot just electric spam versus him, especially if the Charizard X is not in Mega Evolve just yet, so or just having a Volt Switch immunity in that manner can allow me to gain momentum. But those are the 6 moves that he's gonna be bringing. He has a lot of threats. Celesteela will be a huge pain for me to break down, besides my Victini to be able to really efficiently break it down. And Charizard X, I just don't have a reliable defensive check to it, barring a Mega Blastoise, which would always have to be very high health to even be able to take a +1 Dragon Claw or like a +2 Dragon Claw or anything in that matter. So very threatening roster that he has on his arsenal. I'm gonna be bringing for this matchup. There won't be team builders, by the way, throughout this season unless I decide otherwise, but I'm gonna be going quickly that we have a specially defensive Kangaskhan with Body Slam, Wish, Sleep, Talk and Rest with Early Bird, meaning that it will only having 1 turn of sleep instead of 2 thanks to its ability. Then we have a Sub, Bulk Up, Close Combat and Plasma Fist Zeraora with the Phydium C in itself. Then we have a more so physically defensive Mega Blastoise with Water Pulse, Dragon Pulse, Dark Pulse and Rapid Spin. Then we have a Wide Lens Victini with World Cup, Focus Blast, Psychic and Blue Flare. And why do I have this kind of Victini is that I highly anticipated or gave respect to his Munchlax to be a potential Victini counter, because I know how good Munchlax can be in those kind of niche roles. I have been able to wall a Sea Volcarona for days with a Munchlax, so I did not want to be that one guy who doesn't prepare for that 20-point mon when I can see its niches and I know it has that kind of niche potentially versus a Victini. So I had a Void Lens, and thanks to its Victory Star ability, I actually have like a 84% accurate Focus Blast, which is pretty cool considering that normally it's only 70%, and we know how inaccurate that seems to be always with that kind of move, such as Focus Blast. Then we have a very interesting Bronzong set with a Trick Ring target on its item, and the idea with this set was that I could trick the ring target to the Donphan before even he would be able to knock it up, because I'm very speedy, meaning that it would lose its immunity to electric type attacks, which would have freed up my Zeraora to be able to blow it back with the Plasma Fist. I think also my Zeraora is holding weakness policy on it as well with the bulk up, so it was a pretty bold strategy that I took in that regard. And then it's having also Earthquake for hitting the Charizard X with a little bit of attack investment to it. And then we have Heavy Slam and Stealth Rocks on it as well. And then we have Life Orb Nidoqueen with Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Flamethrower and Toxic Spikes on it, because I didn't expect the Roserade potentially to come, and if that would be the case, the Toxic Spikes would help me out to be able to wear down the Donphan if it's not being a Trick Ring target, because I could also do the Trick Ring target to the Celesteela, which would allow my Nidoqueen to hit it super effectively with Earth Power in itself. So pretty spicy team for week 1, at least regards to these sets, but we have to see how this is gonna be turning out. I will give a proper warning that I did not have the good amount of time, as much as time I would normally want to do to have for preparing for a draft league battle, which I would want to take seriously. So this was a battle that happened with, right after the UBL semifinals, and it was the time when I was starting to really emphasize my focus for the UBL's Season 3 finals, which you already saw in my channel. So this was during a very hectic time, and I will apologize beforehand that there might be some wet potatoing, including on this video, regards to how things will be turning out. But big shoutouts to John Jr. I did apologize to him that I'm very late with my upload, and I explained my situation to him regards to this one. So I didn't want to disrespect my opponent in that regard and not upload from my point of view without having a good reasoning, and hopefully we can make this as a entertaining video as we can go out of a week 1. As you can tell, it might not turn out too pretty for ourselves, but you'll just wait and see what I mean by that. So he's gonna be leading off with his Charizard X, as I'm gonna be leading off with my Kangaskhan. The reason why I led with my Kangaskhan of all of my mons was that I anticipated the Noivern to be a lead, and I didn't want to reveal my items to him right from the get-go with my other mons like Victini, for example, or my Bronzong to that matter, because then my hidden tech would be revealed, or my Zeraora for that matter, and I didn't want Mega Blastoise to take a hit from the Noivern if I could help myself. But because he leads off with his Charizard X, I'm already really bad position, because I already have to respond to this thing immediately when he's able to get his Mega Evolution off and giving himself a actual electric resist, what he really needed to have versus a Zeraora. So I can understand why he made this lead now looking at on it more further, and I could have tried to see that coming, but I didn't, because I anticipate the Noivern lead, which meant that I had to take a Dragon Claw from that Charizard X, and now I should try to find a turn to get up the Wish off, and this is where I go for the Water Pulse, because it would do a good chunk to the Charizard X, and I anticipated the Clefable to be a switching, but he utilized his regular Blastoise as the switching, so I was like, oh, is that like an Assault Vest set what you're trying to use versus me? I don't know for sure, but this is where I go into my Kangaskhan, where I thought about like, okay, I'm gonna get up my Wish, but I believe I'm gonna be swapping out immediately into my Victini at this point. I could have taken my turn to go for the Wish, but I didn't want to Wish pass into this Clefable, then I would be going nowhere from there. So I made a hard swap into my Victini, expecting potentially the Stealth Rocks as well, and try to start breaking through him with a workup set from this Victini in itself, and you're gonna see that that's what I'm gonna be going for. And in a hindsight, this wasn't really the optimal play. I should have gone for the Wish from the Kangaskhan, take my time to Wish pass into my Mega Blastoise, and then respond to the Clefable from there. But because how I played those turns, he had a reliable switching in some regards to the Noivern, because it would be able to take any one hit, and he also had the Wish up in the air from the Clefable in itself. So I didn't play those turns really optimally and made most out of the situation, where he was able to really counter what I was doing, and now he does go for the Draganium C, responding to the Victini being able to set up a workup, and I felt like I kind of forced him to do this, which is fine, because I did have Bronzong in the back taking this hit. I expected the Flynium C, but the Draganium C works just fine as well for him, and this is where I go for the Stealth Rocks, but I kinda didn't think this turn for too long, and thinking that if he does make this prediction, expecting me to go for the Stealth Rocks, I didn't respect the dire situation that I might put myself into as the Charizard X would coming, and this is where I go for the Earthquake, because I was hoping that okay, if it's a offensive spread of Charizard X, I can two-shot it from here because the amount of attack investment I put on this thing. But you're gonna be able to tell that that is not exactly a 2-hit KO, so depending on if that's a roll or not, I'm potentially being set up on here, and I'm relying on RNC to be trying to avoid for me getting out of this situation. So I'm in a dire situation that I probably should have swapped into my Mega Blastoise now immediately, but I decide to stay in hoping that that was like a mean roll, but it was actually somewhere of a higher roll. And this is where I finally respond to this thing and go into my Mega Blastoise. And I believe this is the turn where it shows up to be too late for me to respond, because now he's at +2. And that's pretty bad, because I'm not in a range of living this hit, because I didn't prioritize the Wish Pass for my Mega Kangaskhan. I wish I had a Mega Kangaskhan with Mega Blastoise, but from my regular Kangaskhan to the Mega Blastoise in itself, because at full health I would have taken that hit and blowing it back with a Dragon Pulse for sure. But now I'm backing on the fact that, okay, if he goes for the Flare Blitz, he takes a lot of recoil, and my Kangaskhan actually has enough bulk on its HP and defense to live a Flare Blitz from this thing potentially, unless he gets a higher roll. And I try to be lucky and bad with the Body Slam, but I'm not lucky and bad in that regard. And now he goes for the Flare Blitz and he does get the higher roll. I believe he had below 30% of chance killing me with max attack investment, and if he wasn't that, then it was even a lower chance, but he got that chance. So here I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go into my Bronzong. Hopefully I'm gonna be forcing you to take even more recoil to kill yourself down, and if you don't do that, I go for the Earthquake, but he does go for the Roost. And we are back at the situation again, as I'm stumbling on my words. Like I'm basically stumbling versus this Mega Charizard X on the battle in itself. We are in a position that I'm trying to be lucky and bad, trying to get high rolls with Earthquakes or potential crit. And we do get a lot higher roll on this time around. So basically what I'm trying to do is that this thing would be killing itself to flare up its recoil and try to make most out of it from there. Like basically I'm already losing so many resources just to this Charizard X because I made such a critical mistake, knowing how big of a threat Mega Charizard X was on prep, but I really didn't emphasize enough in the battle in itself to keep that check always healthy in the back, which was the reason why I brought the Kangaskhan with the Wish Pass into my Mega Blastoise. I did it on prep properly, but I'm not executing there because I'm really, just whatever reason, I'm just tunnel visioning just a little bit too much in this battle so far and not really following through the game plan that even with a very short amount of time that I put the prep into it, I still haven't resorts of way try to deal with this thing, but that already went down pretty well. So like I've been saying, I'm trying to be lucky and bad on this situation, try to get these Earthquakes. At some point I believe I'm gonna be snatching a crit, which is gonna be very close of killing this Charizard X, but he is trying to Roost all here from my Earthquakes. I believe he has used more Roost than Earthquakes. At some point he will realize that to be the case, because both of them have 16 PP, and I definitely have used rest of them as he has used Roost, because I believe he already used them before I started to click Earthquake in itself. And now he does go for the Flare Blitz and finish me down, and this is where I'm gonna be kinda having a slightly more panic and think that, okay, what are the other mons that I still had but bulky enough to live a potential hit? And I had two of them, in Nidoqueen and Victini. One of them needs to live a hit from this. Please, Nidoqueen, live a hit. Live that Dragon Claw. Don't leave it. I'm like, oh my god, is this literally how this season is gonna start? Am I gonna get 6-0'd on my week 1 battle just because I'm emphasizing so much for the playoff run in the other league? So I'm like, Hilan Milan, please. Hilan Milan, live this hit, and you live. Oh my god, Hilan Milan, you're my savior at this point from a huge humiliation from a week 1 battle, because you somehow lived that Dragon Claw. Like, holy crap, like the Aces was singing for me, and praise to the gods himself from Hilan Milan for saving my ass on that dire situation that I put myself into, because I didn't emphasize enough prep besides the one counter that I brought into this game. And the one counter that I brought, I misplayed it and I didn't emphasize on keeping it healthy. So now I'm basically in a do or die situation, try to make most out of the situation with my Zeraora, and now the Noivern will be coming into the or came in versus me. Goes for the Draco Meteor, and this was where I should have gone for the substitute which I had on this thing. By the way, the Blastoise also will be I believe it. Okay, he hasn't used the Blastoise just yet. He used the Draco Meteor on that moment to be able to weaken me down, but he realized that if I had a substitute, that was a potential misplay from him, but I didn't capitalize on that factor, knowing that the Draco Meteor was his play. And now he goes into the Blastoise, so... Speaking of being lucky and bad on this situation, check this shit out. He's a Choice Scarf Blastoise of all sets. I did not think at all he would bring a Choice Scarf Blastoise to this battle. I didn't expect the Blastoise to come, to be honest, when I look at my own team versus him. I thought like Starmie is his better water type to bring versus me, but he brought a Choice Scarf Blastoise with a Hydro Pump, and Vigidio the Zeraora was like, I'm not gonna die to that kind of hit. I'm not gonna get heated on with that kind of set. I'm just gonna dodge that like lucky and bad that I am so far. And we dodged that hit and we were able to snatch one more differential from this most likely losses that is coming into our way. And yeah, that is going to be the game. We eventually did lose this game in a 0-3 fashion. To John Jr., who honestly played better than me, and even though he also admitted that he wasn't able to spend as much time as he probably would also want to his own standards to prepare for Draft League battle himself for a serious one, he still played and prepared way better than me, and this is just a lesson that, and this is also one of my weaknesses when it comes to Draft League format. As I have multiple ones going on. It's not like I'm like several ones at the same time. At this moment when I was doing this, I was still in 3 of them, and it just happened to be one of them was the UBL playoffs. And when it comes to me, I really only have the energy and the effort and the time to really emphasize on that one run that I'm doing, and then the other leagues are kind of like taking a way step back as a secondary priority, or even like a third priority on that moment. So to be completely honest, this really was a off week for me. This was an off game for me, but I will give the credit to my opponent that he definitely deserved the win. He definitely played his cards right with the Charizard X. He realized already earlier on like when he can really start putting in the work and potentially go for the game like he did, and props for him doing that. I think John Jr. has made steps forward throughout the Draft League community. What I've been able to notice, I haven't really been subscribed to him or really followed really closely to him, but I know his name throughout the Draft League community itself. I have seen him battling versus other people that I have watched or seen him in tournaments, and I have seen him taking several good strides, and this just showcases the fact that what I have been believed in him in regards to that. Whatever he was at the start of his Draft League career, where he definitely had his struggles at the beginning, because I knew about him already when he was starting Draft League format, when some of my friends were part of his league where he was taking part of. But since then he has learned a lot. He's taking steps forward to the right direction, and he's a good battler in Draft League format for sure, and getting always just better. And it showcases here on this week to be able to beat me like he did in a very convincing fashion. So my tip, if I would be wearing a hat, I would tip over him and apologize yet again for having my upload so late. I didn't want to disrespect him at all about this, especially because you saw that it was a loss, and oh, that's why you're joining for not uploading it. I'm just being sincere about it, that I really emphasized my time on the UBL, and I wanted to emphasize on that, and you saw from the run that I was making that I took it as seriously as I could have. So now that UBL season has been done and over with, which you hopefully have seen so far, the finals battle versus the OP Challenge, now I can focus on a little bit more to the Eon World Trophy season. And week 2 we are gonna be going up against Shaco King, which will be going already tomorrow, because the proper upload days for this league are Wednesdays, and you see this on a Tuesday. So I'm gonna be able to be back on schedule with regards to these uploads tomorrow, when the week 2 battles from the entire league will be going up, including mine, and hopefully from Shaco King's perspective as well, when we had our week 2 battle. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully you enjoyed this wet potato week when I had my off week and I got my ass whooped. every now and then this happens to me, and it's honestly fine. I'm not too salty. Like, I'm upset at myself and ashamed as well a little bit, but it's okay. It just happens. It happens to everyone every now and then. So it keeps us honest and I guess humble, I could say, in that regard. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for week 2. I will be having also another league coming up for my channel as well, where I took over for another team, but I'm gonna be explaining that soon enough. I believe that upload will be this coming Sunday, so stay tuned for that. I'm not gonna talk about it too much yet, just stay tuned for that. But until that one, tomorrow will be the week 2. Stay tuned for that, and until then, thank you all for watching, and I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.